Alright, welcome to my first look at, and my first video actually, at War of the Ring Ultimate Rework. I've got it up here on Tabletop Simulator. I think there's an extra scripted version that just adds a couple of buttons and a few little layout improvements, which is very nice. But, you know, as far as experience, I've only played a few games of War of the Ring, and most of them have been this rework because I'm just a bit of a sucker for the lore side of it. So I'm just going to basically start playing a solo game here. Just make myself the game master so I can see both hands, and I'm just going to click the button over the side and just start playing. So we've drawn the cards. Now the shadow player can nominate any amount, including 0, dice to the hunt, every dice will grant him 1 hunt point, which you can then spend to buy hunt cards, which the orange number that you can see here is the cost of hunt points. And then you will shuffle them into the deck. And every time the fellowship moves, you'll draw a hunt card out. And the amount of corruption damage is this red button here. So I think as the shadow player he won't do any. And we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so he gets 1. That gives him 1 hunt point. So we'll just buy Bill Fernie, which is a nice little homage to that scoundrel in Bree, I think he was. And we'll just shuffle that in. And we will then roll for the Free Peoples. One of the bigger changes here is that instead of the minions being pretty much always available, there's a minion deck and a hero deck. And you draw 2 at random at the start of the game. And to get the action die, they have a quest that you need to fulfill that. So for the Witch King, if you kill a character in a battle with the Witch King, you gain an action die. So that's pretty cool and thematic. He needs to essentially kill a character, so not a leader but a character. And you might see cards on the side, like the Fire Drake here. These cards can only be brought in by event cards. Same on the Free People side. They have a lot of cooler versions of their characters, and they have a lot of very thematic characters as well, which is awesome. So we can see that Free Peoples have Thranduil and Treebeard. Let's look at their dice here. And the cool thing is that until they're played, you don't know what the other person has. So you can see we need to get a companion into Fangorn, and then we can place Treebeard in there, and we can muster 3 Ent units into Fangorn, which is pretty cool. And yeah, you don't have to be at war to use that. And if we gain Orthanc, we gain an action die. So that one's pretty good, I think. Dol Guldur here, we get the quest. If we control Dol Guldur, we get an action die from Thranduil. So that's pretty cool. And then we got some very thematic cards as well. That's a pretty strong card from what I can tell. For instance, if we had those Ents, if we had 6 Ents and Treebeard, we could then use that card to go through the Fords of Isen and into Orthanc and attack, which could definitely take the shadow player by surprise. Obviously a lot of build up to be able to do that, but I think what we'll do, we'll just spend character action, and we'll move the fellowship by 1. And then we will draw a hunt card. Peaceful Journey, brilliant. So no issues. Obviously the Free People's player could have passed then as well. Looking at the Shadow player. Yeah, some cool things. It's the Witch King. Nothing too crazy. Being able to put down spiders could be cool, because there are some fairly strong combat cards from what I've seen that if you have a spider unit, they can attack. They can add a good bit of damage. Now, I'm very new to the entire strategy of this game, but the couple games that I've played, Lorien seems to be the place to take. So I think what we'll do is we'll move all these units and we'll risk it even. We'll leave nothing in Dol Guldur, and we will move. We'll just see where. Yep. So the Witch King, he goes into Minas Morgul. He can. So what we'll do is we'll move this army out, or some of it, the Nazgul here. Maybe to reinforce Dol Guldur. Potentially could have done the spiders first, and then we had a spider in here, but I think what they'll try and do is just besiege Lorien for now, so the elves can't do too much in there. So it's back to the Free Peoples. I think again they will move the Fellowship. Doesn't seem to be like a bad idea. So no hunt damage or no corruption, but they are revealed. And the Shadow player will again spend another army action. We'll just move into here, and we'll just move this guy out of Moria. Because when the Fellowship moves, we'll get to it, they will take a hunt damage for a corruption for the enemy army here, and then another for the stronghold if they decide to go through Moria. And there's some really cool cards like the Balrog. He's a minion, and he can sit in Moria essentially, and if the Fellowship decide to move through, he can. You can sacrifice him to deal 4 damage, I think it is, which is pretty cool. Very thematic anyway. Okay, now it is the Free People's turn. Need a companion in Fangorn, so we could move a companion out to get him into Fangorn. It's still quite a distance away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the fastest companion being a 3, I believe. So when they move out of the Fellowship, they move, the Fellowship progress plus their amount. So we'll need another one. Just seeing if there's any useful. So we could even get Gandalf out. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the most useful start here, but again, I could be completely wrong. So we have a muster and an event action. Yeah, we could just muster, maybe we'll muster the elves. Or maybe Gondor. Honestly, I'm probably keener to play it more thematically because I have no idea what good or bad strategy is. I probably should have done the spider one with the muster or a palantir. So I'll do that now. We'll play the spiders. So basically we put a spider and it has a little mini map, which is nice. So we find the spiders somewhere. Now it's basically one in each of these regions, which is pretty cool. Alright. I have a palantir action left. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So with the event action, you can pull from one of each of these, from one of these decks, I should say. So we might pull a strategy card for our last action. So that is not bad, but we need Lorien. I think the Shadow player will spend the character action to move into Lorien. Now there is only 2 elites and a regular. You might hear my daughter in the background yelling out. So they'll fall back into Lorien. And they will move down the track. There we go. So I guess the benefit here that I can see is that Lorien is besieged, so nothing can be placed into Lorien. So you can't, in this, I believe one of the newer rules is that you can't place a unit into a besieged stronghold unless it specifically states on the card. So the Free Peoples are done. Actually couldn't have done that. Because they're not at war, so we'll say they spent the action before to bring them up at war. And they have an event action left. Now that we're besieging Lorien as well, the Fellowship won't heal when they move through it, so that's another benefit. So I think maybe we'll just spend an event action to attempt to hurt the Fellowship. So we randomly select a companion, and we'll deal that many corruption dice, corruption damage. So who's that? Gimli, I believe. So that's going to be 2. So they don't want Gimli to die just yet. So they'll just take the corruption. Could be bad, not sure. Could be bad strategy. Alright, so that is the end of the turn. So we'll draw cards. So deal more damage to the Fellowship. That's pretty cool. More spider units in Minas Morgul. That's quite cool. I've actually never seen that card yet. Now we only have 3 spider units here left, so we'd only be able to put 3, but that's pretty cool, I think. And we'll see what these guys draw. Now you can only have 8 cards in hand. I think it's 6 in the original. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have 9. That one is quite good. We can get those companions out, get them moving. Probably not going to have Smeagol as the guide for a long time, so I'm just going to discard that one. Alright. And now the Shadow player will not put any dice in, if he can help it. At this stage, we'll say that's cocked, we'll see where it lands, a muster. Alright, there's 1. So he wants to slow the Fellowship down, so he's going to put another card in. Okay. We'll roll the dice here. Okay, a couple of characters, a Will of the West. think we might try and scare the shadow player, and we'll play this card here. Travel lightning, move any number of companions, and we can leave the fellowship as well. So it's only companions, as it states. Now they can already move 2, plus this extra 2, and we could get them out of the fellowship. Now they can actually rejoin later as well, which is pretty cool. So we might just go hard and we'll get Aragorn out. He can move 3, so that's going to be a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So that will activate Rohan, and we will get. Maybe we'll start moving. We'll move Boromir out as well. I believe he is level 2, so we'll have him go into Fangorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it's potentially all we'll do. At least we have a companion we would have had to spend, sorry, the character action here for that card. And now the shadow player probably knows, okay, there's something happening in Fangorn, so he could potentially, if he wanted, move out. Which even 1 unit would be not a bad idea. But he knows that potentially he might not get there in time. And he doesn't have many army actions either. Anything he moves out also weakens the siege here. So, I mean, it could be a bad idea. He knows definitely something is going to happen. Just looking at his movements here. I mean, he could use a character action to move a Nazgul out. Let's say he tries to do that because he's fairly clever, unlike me. Now, there's 3 units in the stronghold and a leader versus 5 units, so it's probably not worth it trying to sortie out. Again, could be absolutely wrong on that one. And then it's the Free People's turn again, so he knows that, alright, so if he places Treebeard, he will at least have Treebeard. Treebeard adds 1 regular combat die to your army strength, so he's not bad to just have on the table, I believe. So I think let's go for it. So we'll put Treebeard down, and we'll get his model out from here, which is pretty cool. Animated tree. And then the shadow player spends the army action to move into here. So now characters, they're not affected by the army, but however, Fangorn is now controlled by the shadow player. And for his second army action, he'll probably move out of Barad-dûr. Should probably get something started. Okay. So Rohan is active, he wants potentially to get Orthanc now. So I think what he might do is muster Rohan towards war. Well, let's just see before he spends that. Ah, this one. So each Free People's Nation moves one step towards war. So that I could use that as well. I mean, we could move the companions. Yeah, maybe we'll spend a character action to move the companions. So Boromir as well. Let's look at his card. He's actually not too bad. He has this combat ace, so he adds a dice. So we could put him into the Fords of Eisen. So it would be 3 dice. 2 dice, so no, 3 dice, yeah. And we can move Treebeard as well. He's not really doing anything, so we'll move him to the Fords of Eisen as well. So that's a character action, and now we can move. We'll go 1, 2, 3. So we'll take Aragorn to Minas Tirith, so that will actually activate Gondor as well. Which is quite interesting, and now the Shadow player has 3 musters. Interesting. Now, one of the interesting kind of things in this mod as well is that you can send Nazgul to hunt in this area, and they don't do anything except for hunt cards. So if there's at least 1 Nazgul hunting, and I had this in the hunt deck, then that condition would be fulfilled. And there is also some other cards about Nazgul hunting, deal a damage. There's some event cards, I believe, that talk about that too. But obviously they're useful for moving and re-rolling your dice. And re-rolls are quite important. So the Shadow player, he might muster. It's probably never the worst idea to muster Isengard to war. And he will muster an Isengard Elite. And second one, he will bring the Witch King out, which he is over here. Puts him in Minas Morgul. Because what we can do is we could fly the Witch King over to here, and if he can kill one of these characters, then we get the action die. Now we can spend the Palantir. Oh, actually we should say it's the Free People's turn. We'll say they passed for whatever reason. And now, or any of its settlements, we should have read that card a bit better. So I think what we would have done then is we would have moved Boromir to the settlement, because then we'll play this card to play this one. So each Free People's Nation moves 1 step towards war for each companion. Yeah, so for each companion. So Gondor is actually at war because of Aragorn, and not the elves, and Rohan moves 1 down because of Boromir. Now the event card, we're going to pull 2. We'll pull another minion just to see what we get. So his quest is Erebor. It's pretty hard, but he does spawn with a few units at least at Goblin Gate up here, and he can also recruit from there. Okay, turn is over. Let's roll some dice. Alright, no hunt. No eyes. Let's see what the fellowship get. Pretty good roll by the looks, I think. Oh, I should have drawn cards before, but I'm terrible at remembering that. Yeah, so we can get an Elven Ring. That one's pretty cool. I'd probably just discard this because I'm playing solo. Doesn't really matter too much. And we'll see what they got. Fairly hard to get that condition. This one is quite cool in that it shuffles two Lambus special hunt cards into the hunt deck. So we've got these ones here. So they're basically a freebie. They don't reduce corruption, but they don't bring any more, and obviously they don't reveal. So it's quite good to dilute the power of the hunt deck. Hunt deck, yeah. So Gondor now being at war, I mean, there's a few things we could do. We could start mustering, even. So maybe we'll do that. We don't want Minas Tirith to fall, so we'll muster an elite in Minas Tirith. Aragorn has roused Gondor to war, which is pretty cool. And we'll see what the Shadow can do. Probably need to maybe attack Rohan before they get too strong. It doesn't have any character action, so we can't move the Witch King over, which was I was going to move the Witch King over to Isengard. And then if he could kill Treebeard, he could get his action die. But, I mean, he could kill Aragorn as well, so it's always an option. But maybe we'll muster an elite in Minas Morgul. Now we've got 6 units there, and we could potentially recruit these spiders as well for another. It says 4 on the card, but there's only 3 that we can get. So that could almost be basically a full army after that. So we'll say he did that. Yeah, we'll just say the Free Peoples potentially pass for now, or they'll spend the Palantir action to put the 2 Lambus cards into the hunt deck, and then gain the benefit of Gandalf's Guide to get an event, a character event card, which is all about healing anyway, so that's kind of cool. We've got 6 units in here. We'll muster again. We'll put another elite in. Minas Morgul. Now I could probably move these over to a army. It's getting a little bit unwieldy. And we'll stick the Witch King on it because it's cool. Okay, 3 Peoples, 2 Will of the West. I mean, they could really make Gondor a tough nut to crack. Or they could do something with the Fellowship. They also have a card that they could play with Thranduil, I think it was, somewhere. So regular and elite, I think that's what they will do. Keep that for later. Now, could also move these units over. with an army action to make the fords of Eisen quite strong. They might. I think they might. I think they'll move an army action to move here, and then an army action to move these guys back into Minas Tirith. Could be bad giving up of Osgiliath. I'm not too sure, but that's a fairly powerful force there as well. Or better yet, I think what we'll do is we'll move everything out of Minas Tirith except for one guy. Just to be safe, we can always move back. Alright, Shadow player's turn. He will spend the Palantir to play that spider card, and we'll put the 3 spiders now in this army. I think again they will spend army action. No, I think they'll spend there's interesting choices to be made, which I really find is a lot of fun in this game. So 7 cards. Maybe they'll just keep it simple and muster Rohan towards war, I think. So then they're one more step away before being able to build. And now it's the Shadow player's turn. I think we'll play this card here to just deal 1 damage to the Fellowship, which they will take. Right, so that's a Palantir. Now they'll spend the muster to do another Isengard Elite. Spend an army action. Gonna have to start moving. At some stage, we'll move this army. And this army. Put some pressure on Gondor. Now at event action. I think we might pull another minion. Mouth of Sauron. Okay. Alright. Draw cards. These guys have 9. I think we'll just get rid of this one. could be potentially silly. It's a sortie. So if we sortied in Lorien with that card, thing is, we really don't want to lose Lorien. We can't actually because we're not at war. So we'll just discard that one. And I don't think the shadow pull cards. I'm going to discard Golem because I can't really be bothered to... Oh, actually, I'll discard Golem. Yep. Yep. And we'll roll the dice. Alright, looks like they'll be moving the fellowship a bit this turn. And no hunts. Character actions. 4 character actions. I think they'll pass. They'll pass to see what the shadow player is going to do. The shadow player will spend the character action to move some Nazgul around. There's probably no point having Nazgul on that guy. I think that's what we'll do. They are quite worried that they're going to be attacked. They don't want to give up too easily, so they're going to move. Yep. Alright. Shadow player. Spend the army action. Probably try and get around the free peoples here. In Gondor. Gondor already at war. Oh yeah, one more army action. Move everyone except one into Minas Morgul. Think they'll pass again. Now we'll get army action. And we'll move in behind. And we'll move this army. We'll move this army out. So now, free peoples will take their turn. Basically gonna have to fall back to Minas Tirith, abandoning Osgiliath. This one's not bad, it's quite good for card draw. But yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it just now. So we'll come back to the shadow player's turn. Thanks for watching.